Hello my friends, my name is Ryan Freeman and you're watching my channel on a very windy day. So if my hair flies away or my camera falls into the river or a branch falls on me, that's because I'm not supposed to be outside. It's a typhoon day. A typhoon day which would normally I would be working, but because of Typhoon Puppy, I think it's a Japanese name for puppy. I'll put it down below. It came and it hit Taiwan, and Kaohsiung, the city I live in, which is in the south, announced the typhoon day yesterday. And so basically almost every shop, not every shop, 7-Elevens were open. I'm not exactly sure where else. Some shops do remain open on typhoon days. It started yesterday. I think it's still continuing now. I'm not exactly sure. The strongest part of the wind was last night. Last night I didn't really see much rain, but the wind was insane. We lost power in the building. I wasn't sure if it was just my apartment, but I heard the crying of the little children in the other apartments as it went dark there, and power came on in the middle of the night, and so it's just sort of been a kind of a wild 24 hours. It was nice to not have to go to work today because I was feeling a little tired. To be frank, after I finished my last class yesterday, and Thursday, which is today, is my heaviest day of classes. So when you teach English in Taiwan, your schedule isn't necessarily always balanced. Some days you will have a lot of classes, some days you will have less classes, and my heavy hitter of a day, I have 6 classes on Thursday. It's really quite a gauntlet. They're enjoyable classes, they're really not that difficult. But just the fact that you have to get up in front of kids and do all that interaction, and you don't have a lot of time in between, Thursdays can be a bit of a heavy hitter. So the fact that the typhoon decided to really coalesce on my heavy work day and give me a day off was fantastic. Okay, so I don't know. I guess I'm going to talk about work. I'm going to talk about days off. So today's a day off. We had a typhoon day several weeks ago. Typhoon days are not necessarily uncommon in Taiwan. However, I've had 2 since I've started working at this job. I've only been here about 6 weeks, but my coworkers informed me that they hadn't had a typhoon day in the previous, 4 to 5 years, but that they were more common before. So you may get lucky if you consider strong weather. That gives you a reason, that gives you a free day off if you consider that lucky, which I do. It's a nice thing, from Mother Nature. But we also had a holiday last week, and it was the Mid-Autumn Festival, also called Moon Day or Mooncake Day. That comes every year around harvest season. It's a harvest holiday. You get a day off, and you generally barbecue with your friends, eat mooncakes. It follows the lunar Chinese calendar. They believe that day is the day when the moon is the brightest, and I had a really kind of crazy day for the full moon holiday, the first day of the holiday. I'll just tell you briefly. I went to this Moon Rock Park. It's a special place in Taiwan. Taiwan doesn't have that diverse of geology and geography, not quite like America. America, we've got, you contrast Arizona to Alaska, and Yellowstone in Florida. We've got so many different types of landscapes and terrain in America. Taiwan it's a small country in the tropics or subtropics. I don't necessarily know, but it's a tropical country. So it's more or less green and mountainous and a lot of coastline, but they have this area that sort of reminds them of the moon, and they're mud rocks. Whatever that is. So I went there and spent the stay with a couple of my coworkers, one of my coworkers' kids. I was tired when I started that day, I think I drank too much whiskey the night before. I just didn't get enough sleep. I don't know. And not saying that I drank that much. It doesn't take that much, actually, to give me a bit of a hangover. And so I was tired, had this long day of hiking, but it was a really nice day. And I had to go to my principal's family barbecue. I don't know if you could hear me over this wind. I might not even be able to use this video. We'll see. So I go to this barbecue that my principal invited me to her family house, and I almost canceled because I was just so exhausted from walking around this moon park, and I was tired. But it ends up being just so much fun. The hospitality of, I don't know if all Taiwanese are this way, but my principal and her family just stuffed me full of lamb, beef, chicken, vegetables, beer, they got whiskey, they got expensive whiskey. And when we finished that bottle, they got more expensive whiskey. I got to get drunk with my principal, although not crazy drunk, but drunk, and some of my coworkers. And then, I'm not going to say what happened, but let's just say there was some magic in that full moon. Okay, so yeah, that was a nice 3-day holiday, 3-day weekend. And then we have this typhoon day today, and then I think I will go back to work tomorrow, and then I'll have a 4-day weekend because every October 10th, there is a national holiday. I'm not sure if it's always 2 days off, like we're having this year. This is my first year in Taiwan, but October 10th, National Day, it's some celebration of maybe the overthrow of the Qing dynasty. I'm not necessarily sure. Something that goes back to the early 20th century in mainland China. And so I'll have a 4-day holiday. So I have had a lot of days off recently. And you know, the funny thing is, when I'm working and consecutive days, I sometimes, I cannot wait for a day off like today. And then when I have a lot of days off, sometimes I get so antsy. You know, my family, my estranged daughters are in Japan. Not trying to go down a sad alley, but I don't have a family here. I have building some friendships. I have jiu-jitsu, but there's only so many things you can do. I guess what I've decided is I'm going to definitely make a lot more videos for YouTube. I've been training jiu-jitsu a lot, just try to keep myself busy. God damn, man, I did not expect this video to start becoming depressing. I'm not trying to depress you, but I guess I should talk about this topic. The topic is, when you move to a new city, it doesn't matter if you move to a new city in your own country or you move to a new city in the other part of the world, it takes a while for relationships and friendships to develop. Now, I have been dating since I got here to Kaohsiung about, I don't know how many weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. And I've met some nice women, but no one quite, to share my day in, day out with. And I don't have children, any new children, to spend time with. And I know you parents out there are saying, you're lucky, Ryan, because children are a pain in the neck. Yeah, that's true. I have friends, but not friends that I just go downstairs and knock on their door. So it's a really cool opportunity to come teach English in Taiwan. People will give you really nice treatment just for coming to their country. Taiwanese are very happy to have foreigners come to their country, happy to have foreigners come to their schools and their classrooms. So you get a very hospitable, friendly treatment. But you do have to create new relationships, and I guess that's one of the things that I'm in the process of doing still. And it's an exciting thing because even though you do have, it's bitter that you say goodbye to so many people, but it's sweet that you get to meet so many new people. And I have been meeting a lot of new people. But I often talk about all of the positive aspects of teaching English in Taiwan, and a lot of times people will write down in the comments, well, what about some of the hard things? Once in a while I'll mention that, I'll allude to that, and I guess that I don't know, we're all humans, so we all share a lot of the same emotions and the same patterns, but we are all different as well. We all do have slightly different personalities and temperaments. I'm the type of person who feels very high and in heaven for a stint of time, and then I drop down into despair. I don't think I'm bipolar, and maybe even if I am, I wouldn't call it that. I go through the ups and downs, which is life. And some days I am just wonderfully happy with my choice of living in Taiwan and coming down to Kaohsiung, and sometimes, I do get a bit lonely. But I would probably be lonely at times no matter where I was. And if I was surrounded by people, I'd probably want to get the hell away from them. I guess what I'm trying to say is, life isn't perfect. Even like, I feel like I've got a perfect job. In so many ways, it's a fun job with not a lot of stress. I don't have to prepare much for my lessons. And they just expect me to have fun and to be myself. And as long as I just have fun and be myself and everyone smiles, then, I'm celebrated. And so I really do love my job. I have a great apartment. I love my new jiu-jitsu gym. I've dated a lot of girls, and I'm having fun. I've got plenty of money, not rich, but, enough to live a good life. But, I'm an American on the other side of the world, and, sometimes perhaps it's just life, perhaps no matter where I go, I'll fall into the same patterns of melancholy and then exaltation of ecstatic delight with life. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I didn't necessarily plan to talk about this, but I didn't necessarily plan to talk about anything. It is Typhoon Day. I don't have work. I came down to this park, and it's quiet, and it's peaceful, and it's lovely to be outside with the trees and the wind and this planet, which is so diverse in its weather, just like the moods of English teachers in Taiwan. Very diverse. Okay. Thank you for watching this video. I don't know if it will come out all right, but please give me a thumbs up and tell me what you think down below. My name is Ryan. Bye-bye.